Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please take your seats. Please take your seats. We begin our service. So while everyone is taking their seats, I'm going to welcome our live stream audience. Welcome, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Temple Emeth. We are going to pray tonight from our prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah. Please follow through if you have the book at home. Of course, please follow along in the sanctuary. Welcome to everyone here. And we will begin our service on page 120 with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. And I would like to invite to the bima Rosalie Sheffield to light our Shabbat candles. Yes, but hold on. I'm looking for the...
Cancer, I believe it's underneath here.
Uh-huh.
I think that's it.
And I need the kiddush as well. Okay, and then we will go. So you can first read this.
And the Hebrew?
Afterwards. So just first read this.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
And now is it a blessing?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Nice, amen. And then we light. And we join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lechadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you so much. And now we continue with Kiddush. And for the Kiddush, I would like to invite Paul Kaufman or the card, Shabbat Shalom, and happy birthday. And please rise.
As evening falls, we give thanks for the blessings of the past week, for life and strength, for work and rest, for home, love, and community. As we enjoy this bounty, may we be inspired to bring goodness into the lives of others. We raise a cup of wine in gratitude for the miracle of creation and for the gift of this day. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava u'v'ratzon, inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehilah lemichrae way. I'm so excited to congratulate you on your
40th birthday.
30th birthday. I was thinking what number to pick, but honestly, this is a really, really important and big day because 90 means a 5 times high. So you're getting the 5 times the gift of life. And, we are in Judaism, we say we want you to live for 120 years, which is 120. And in Israel, we say that we want you to live for 100 years as 20. So, which will sound 120. So we want you to be 100, 120, but feel like a 20 years old. So
Works for me.
works for you. And you look useful, and most importantly, you are very useful in heart. So with that, I do want to bless you with the oldest blessing of our people. We are not at the ark right now, but we will still do it. יברכך אדוני וישמרך. May God bless you and keep you. יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך. May God shine God's face towards you and be gracious to you. יאר אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום, שלום. May God turn God's face to you and bring you peace, bring you health, bring you usefulness, bring you fulfillment, bring you all the good things in life, and may you always feel like a 20 years old. Can you ratzon? And we join together with She'ehianu. We got to this day. Baruch Adonai, Adonai Eloheinu, Melech haolam. She'ehianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech haolam. She'ehianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh. And we join together and sing Mazel Tov to Poland. You can be seated, and you can be seated. Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov. Yelanu, 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 Olechol Israel. Yelanu, Yelanu, Olechol Israel. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov. Yelanu. And now we continue on page 138. We continue to welcome Shabbat, to welcome the Shabbat's bride with Lecha Dodi on page 138. 138. We will be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the 9th verse, we will rise and turn to the entrance of this sanctuary. לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי הורי, אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. אוי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה וצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 Please be seated. Thank you, Tom, for this very jazzy accompaniment. I absolutely love it. And we continue. On page 144 with Chatzi Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעל מה דברי חירותי והמליך מלכותי, בחיי חוד וביום חוד ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעל מעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. Please rise if you're so able for the call to worship on page 146. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני And we continue together on page 148. Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עצים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו, בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, על חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. We continue together on page 151 in the bottom. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. We continue on page 154. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We continue on page 157 on the top together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe that what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. 158. La 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 la. בני משה ומרים. זה סלי, אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם, לעולם ועד. לה 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 ונאמר כי יפדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We continue with Ashkivenu on page 160. Okay. Okay. We will read the Ashkivenu on page 161 on the top. So please join me. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. And the Shamro is on page 162. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. ויום השביעי שבת ונפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. On page 164, please rise if you are so able for Tfilat HaAmidah. Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, אלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, אלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונך הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה כל עטריו להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחייך כל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לך חיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחייך הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, חייך הקדוש. You may be seated. And we continue on page 178 with the prayer for peace. Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha, Tasim leolam. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. At this time, please take a moment and pray silently. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. We continue with the service of the reading of the Torah, page 363. 363, please rise if you are so able. Happy is the one who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding, for its value is greater than silver, its yield than fine gold. It is more precious than rubies, no treasure can match it. אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך, מלכותך מלכות כל העולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני And this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, ונרוממה שמו יחדיו לך אדוני הגדול לך גבורה לך תפארת לך נצח לך חוד כי כל בשמיים ובארץ כי כל בשמיים ובארץ לך אדוני הממלכה
Amen.
עשה לכל ראש.
Right. So we don't know who it is. So invite somebody.
Okay, here we are. Here we are. You may be seated.
So you have to invite somebody.
Yes, I have. So in my cue sheets, it says Torah blessing, honoree, TBD. And I would like, I actually have, Mark is now going to introduce the Torah portion, but I actually would like to invite Paul and his family, and you can stay there for the Aliyah, to say the Torah blessings. And I will say it with you. But not right now. I'll call you for that.
Oh, the page numbers are here, right?
Yes.
Yes, good.
So I'll just say what we are going to say, right?
I can do it.
Or you will
Yeah,
do
of
it?
course.
Okay.
But I just need the page numbers for the moment. So good Shabbos, everyone. This week's portion is Bamidbar, in the wilderness. It's the first portion of this new book of the Torah, and it finds the Israelites having just completed the assembly of the tent of meeting somewhere out in the desert away from Sinai. The first portion of Bamidbar, which has this name, is divided into 4 chapters. Chapter 1 relates the instructions given by the Eternal to Moses to take a census, and who from each of the tribes is to be the census taker. Chapter 2 instructs the Israelites, now that the census is complete, how to organize themselves around the tent of meeting. Essentially, it's an order of battle as to how the entire tribe is to encamp and to move forward in their travels. Chapter 3 provides a bit of third-party historical detail about the children of Aaron, but then moves quickly into instructions about counting the Levites in the same way that the other tribes were counted in terms of being part of an army, and instructing Moses as to what each of the clans of the Levite tribe was supposed to do in service of the Eternal and in service to keeping the tent of meeting well cared for. Chapter 4 continues the same set of instructions, but becoming much more detailed in the 20 few verses that make up that last part of this portion. IKEA would be proud as to how detailed they get. And that is continued in the portion Not So next week. So tonight, I'm going to read the first 13 verses of chapter 3, which quickly tells the story of the deaths of 2 of Aaron's sons, the elevation of the other 2 to the priesthood, and then the initial instructions to dedicate the entire Levite clan to be at Aaron's direction. Finally, the Eternal indicates that this dedication of the Levites is in place of assigning all the firstborn children of Israel to the Eternal's service. You'll find the verses I'm going to read on page 1038 in the original blue commentaries, which you probably have in the back of your pews. And if you have a revised Torah commentary, it is on page 905.
Just a second. I think it's rolled to the wrong place because it's in the beginning of the portions. And we need chapter 3.
Yeah, that's right.
Help finding it?
I don't think so. Nope, got it.
So, Paul, I'm not going to put you on the spot. So I'm going to chant it with you, but I do want you to be here because it's a very big day for you. So I'm not going to put you guys on the spot. So, ready?
Yes.
Baruch et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
Asher
banu mikol ha'amim, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני, נותן התורה. אמן.
Amen. Ve'ele toldot Aharon uMoshe beyom diber Adonai et Moshe behar Sinai. Ve'ele shemot bnei Aharon Habechor Nadav va'avihu Elazar ve'itamar. Ele shemot bnei Aharon HaKohanim Hamshuchim Asher Malei Yadam LaKohen. Vayamat Nadav Va'avihu Lifnei Adonai Behakrivam Eish Zera Lifnei Adonai B'midbar Sinai Uvanim Lo Hayu Lachem Vaychahen Elazar Ve'itamar Al Pnei Aharon Avihem. Vaydaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor Hakrev et Matei Levi Ve'hamadita Oto Lifnei Aharon HaKohen Veshertu Oto Veshamru et Mishmarto Ve'et Mishmeret Kol Ha'eta Lifnei Ohel Moed La'avod et Avodat HaMishkan Vishamru et kol kelei ohel moed ve'et mishmeret b'nei Yisrael la'avod et avodat hamishkan v'natata et halvim le'aharon ulvanav Nitunim hema lo me'et b'nei Yisrael. Ve'et Aharon ve'et banav tifkod v'shamru et kehunatam ve'hazar hakarev yumat. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Va'ani hine lakachti et halvim mitoch b'nei Yisrael tachat chol bechor peter rechem mibnei Yisrael v'hayu li halvim. כי לי כל בכור ביום הכותי כל בכור בארץ מצרים הקדשתי לי כל בכור בישראל מאדם עד בהמה לי יהיו אני אדוני.
יישר כוח. ברוך אתה, אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת,
וחיי עולם נותן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה, אדוני, נותן התורה.
אמן.
יישר כוח. At this point of our service, we would like to say a prayer for healing for those members of our community who are ill. On page 371, in a moment we will join together in Mishaberach. And now, when my eyes meet yours, feel free to add any names of your loved ones that you would like.
Those suffering from war in and around Israel.
We also join together with praying for the people in our synagogue's Mishaberach list. You can follow their names on live stream and also on the screen here. And we continue together in the middle of page 371. Now for the Hagbah. Unfortunately, Mark, you are doing everything today.
It's okay.
Please rise. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל. על פי אדוני ביד משה. יעללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמו לבדו. עוד עולת בשמיים, וירן קרן לעמו, וקהילה לכל הסידף לבני ישראל עם קרובו. הללויה, הללויה. כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם תורתי, אל תעזובו את חיימי, למחזיקים בה בתומכיה מאושר דרכיה. אינו בכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. קודש, קודש ימינו, קודש ימינו כקדם. You may be seated, and I would like to yet again invite Mark Chellemer to share with us a few words of Torah. Mark, thank you for being here tonight.
I get to do the announcements too.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm the board member on the Bema. So the Torah is a fascinating amalgam. It has all of these elements: family history, epic storytelling, soap opera, architectural assembly instructions, fashion design, the garments the high priests are supposed to wear, religious poetry, emotional exhortations are the articulations of the law, and, at least here in these 4 chapters of this book, census results and warfare staging instructions. I'm trying to recall from my growing up when there was a chazan at Congregation B'nai Israel in Pittsburgh, whose sole role on Shabbat was to chant the Torah at breakneck speed, how this parsha, with its repetitive phraseology, might have sounded. Each tribe's census is reported in exactly the same way, with exactly the same words and exactly the same tropes, other than the actual numbers at the end. The effect to a listener might be almost hypnotic, as you heard again and again this same rhythm of words and sounds. And in chapter 2, a similar rhythm unfolds as the Eternal provides the layout of the tribes around the tent of the meeting. It isn't quite as exactly repetitive as the census is in chapter 1, but it's close. So why such a detailed emphasis on the counting of the populace? In truth, it is just a counting of the males 20 years old and up, so one could hypothesize that the Eternal's instructions really relate to helping Moses and Aaron understand how much of an army they might bring to the battlefield if battle was required. But I'd like to think it's a little more than that. We recall that in Shemot, as the Israelites depart Egypt, they are referred to as Erev Rav in chapter 12, verse 38, a mixed multitude, a riffraff, Erev Rav, a riffraff. And certainly throughout the rest of Exodus, there's not much order to the Israelites. They mill about at the foot of Mount Sinai, wondering what to do. They create this bacchanal when Aaron forms the calf of gold. The description reads like a pretty chaotic, wild party. But now, with the creation of the tent of meeting, the reception of the second set of tablets of the law, and the completion of setting down of all the laws and regulations in Leviticus, they can no longer be an Erev Rav. They need to be a society. They need to have structure and boundary. And I think that the use of the census within this story helps to begin the transition from a loose multitude into an organized culture and a nation. And the use of that repetitive language itself gives that structure oral form. We can hear the studs and the rafters, the doorways and the windows of the society being put into place, verse by verse, in the same way you hear the as a roofer is putting on a roof or a carpenter is putting up nails. The repetitiveness lets you hear the structure of the society coming into place. The other element of Bamidbar which struck me is the many references to the Levites being stand-ins for the firstborn of the Israelites. Now, we tend to not necessarily shrug off, but just count as one of the 10 the slaying of the firstborn when we tell the plague stories in Pesach. It's just one more drop of wine from the glass onto the plate. It's one more set of letters in that 3-word acronym, Detzach something Be'achab, which encapsulates the 10 plagues. But I believe that the Torah is bringing us back to that event much more directly right here in Bamidbar. Numerous references in chapter 3, including the last 3 verses that I chanted, relate to the Levites being this direct substitute for the firstborn of the Israelites in terms of service to the eternal. And in an interesting set of verses, the tiny excess of firstborns over and above the number of Levites that there are, that excess being delineated 3 and 70 and 200, has to be paid for with money to be taken from the coffers of the tribes and given to Aaron as compensation. What's going on? I'd like to think that we are being reminded, subtly, quietly, that the Eternal may not have been so happy about having to cause mass slaughter of innocents in order to bring the Israelites out of Egypt. Although the Torah is full of instructions about putting people to death for what we in our modern world might think of as minor infractions, and even lauds execution on occasion. Think about Pinchas spearing the 2 lovers. And it talks of mass death on many occasions, the Korach rebellion, for example. All of those takings of life have some kind of causal impetus, an infraction, a disobedience, a wrongdoing. Slaying the firstborn of all of Egypt brought death to many innocents, most of them probably unaware of their leader's actions. I think the emphasis, down to requiring payment for 273 extra firstborns over and above the number of the Levites, suggests to me that the Torah is trying to tell us that each and every human life, each and every life of any kind, is precious. To save one life is to save the world. And that even as Israel begins to turn from riffraff to nation, right here in Bamidbar, the wilderness, it must always think about the value of each person to the nation, to his or her tribe, her clan, and her family. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Mark, for your thoughtful words. We will continue. On page 552, with the prayer for the state of Israel, please rise if you're so able. אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו. הגן עליה בעברת חסדך, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך, ושלח אורך ועמיתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך, ונתת שלום בארץ ושמחת עולם ליושבי. ונאמר, Amen. And we join together in the bottom of the page. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shielded beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. And we continue with Aleinu on page 586 as we remain standing. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם מלכנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר וחי אדוני למלך על כוח הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated. Page 595 in the bottom. יש כוכבים שאורם מגיע ארצה, רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו ואינם. יש אנשים שזיו זכרם מאיר, כאשר הם עצמם אינם עוד בתוכנו. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after, the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. And on this Shabbat Bamidbar, we remember those members of our community who are no longer with us. This is the period of Shloshim for Larry Tobias, member of Temple Emeth and husband of Eva Tobias, Paula Kidwell, sister of friend La Barbara, Arthur Wenberg, cousin of Wendy Desani Wenberg, Lenore Berg, member of Temple Emeth, and Carol Lutzk. These are yard sites for Eric Adelman, Henry Bauer, Gerald Beldock, Trudy Brandt, Carol Davis, Rose Davis, Hyman Diamond, Max F. Eisner, Solomon Feldman, Marion Ferziger, Gertrude Fishbein, Sherry Goldblatt, Stella Goldsmith, Lawrence Goldstein, Vera Groner, Harold Horowitz, Irene R. Himes, Matthew Craig Heimowitz, Fanny Kahn, Harry Kanner, Harold Kaufman, Harry Kirschenbaum, Olive Lawrence, Melville Lee, Stephen Leo, Charles Litvin, Samuel E. Lupatin, Nathan Matz, Jack Orstein, Louis Pack, George Proper, Solomon Rappaport, Maurice Rothenberg, Sylvia Sachs, Helen Sandler, Joel Schubert, Goldie Sidansky, Daniel James Silverstein, Paul Silverstein, Philip Spivak, Maritza Vargas, and Molly Waxman. May you have any additional names or to add to our list, or any corrections, feel free to add them now. We also remember 6 of the 6 millions. Beist Sarah, 27, from Poland. Pepper Eva, age 63, from Netherlands. Pepper Philip, 65, from Netherlands. Blachek Berta, 42, from Poland. Blachek Mejoch, age 45, from Poland. And Pravidlo Menicha, age 48, from Poland. Now we join together as one community on page 598, as we join together for Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברי חירותי והמליך מלכותי, חייכון ובכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and all Israel, and let us all say amen. You may be seated. And yet again, Mark, I'd like to invite you for the announcements.
Right. So good Shabbos once again. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to wish you a good Shabbos and to hope that you have enjoyed this evening's service and that you have a nice weekend planned. A special mazel tov to Paul on his 90th birthday. Please join us tonight afterwards for a special oneg sponsored by Nancy Miller-Kozaratsky in Paul's honor. Now for the upcoming events. On Sunday, May 17th at 2 p.m., Viewpoints presents Labors of Love, the life and legacy of Henrietta Zold. This documentary profiles the woman who founded Hadassah in 1912. The director of the film, Abby Ginsberg, will join us on Zoom afterwards for a Q&A. Celebrate Shavuot and witness our 10th graders being confirmed on Thursday, May 21st at 7:30 p.m. This year's confirmands are Marcos Pinones, Gabriel Snyder, and Xander Zaretsky. The Social Action Committee has a new mitzvah of the month. In partnership with the Northern New Jersey Sanctuary Coalition, the committee is assisting detainees at the Delaney Hall Immigrant Detention Center in Newark. Please donate gift cards to grocery stores, including ShopRite, Walmart, and Stop and Shop. You can drop them off at the Temple office. Food and toiletries can also be donated for their ongoing collection in Bergen County. This year's annual congregational meeting will be held on Sunday, May 31st, in the Social Hall. Snacks and conversations start at 10, and the meeting begins promptly at 10:15. Mike, is that enough time for snacks and schmoozing? Give him a half an hour, come on. We'll hear updates on the Future Forward Fund and security and safety measures, a vote on the slate of officers and trustees, and of course, next year's budget. A child watcher is available with advanced registration if you want to bring your little ones. The gala is Saturday night, June 6th. Please purchase your tickets and buy raffle tickets to win a $500 Amex gift card. Only 150 of these raffle tickets are going to be sold, and more than half are already gone. You can support the event and Temple Emeth by becoming a patron of the gala. Look for flyers in the lobby with more information. Did I say patron? Patron. finally, our Future Forward Fund is moving forward. We've raised money to help pay for the new roof, cut down dead trees so we can better secure the building, and we even bought a new movie projector and sound system to help both with movies that mattered, but also with programming and rentals. To hear why congregants are donating to the fund, you can go to our website and click on the Future Forward Fund logo. Perhaps you too will be inspired. Thank you to tonight's volunteers in the live stream room. Morris and Marcia Sobel are at the controls this evening. If you're visiting tonight and would like to get more involved, or if we've just never met, come see me at the Oneg. I'd look forward to having a nice conversation over a delicious cup of coffee. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you, Tom, for the beautiful playing. And we have one more song to conclude our service. And it will be Adon Olam on page 625. Adon Olam asher malach בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא יהיה והוא היה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני לעם שלו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא כעוס וכמשרה ולא כעוס וכמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי בצרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום מקרא מנת כוסי ביום מקרא בידו אפקיד רוחי ואת ישד והעירה ועם רוחי גוויעתי אדוני לי ולא אירא אדוני לי ולא אירא. This concludes our service. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's turn to each other and say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. No, you texted me, that's why. No, because it was